Hi, this is Tom Hoskins for Mining Journal. I'm here with Shawn Howarth, who's the CEO of Excellon Resources, which is a Toronto-listed precious and base metals developer with assets in the Americas and Germany. Shawn, welcome.
Hi, Tom. Thank you for having me. A pleasure to be here.
Great to have you with us. So firstly, I'd just like to start with this exciting news that you've put out this week. You've acquired the past-producing La Negra mine in Mexico. Can you start by giving us an overview of the asset, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we're excited about it. It's a transition and a transformational transaction for this company, leveraging on some of our past experiences as an operator in Mexico. We visited the mine in the middle of the summer, I'd say, and really what stood out from the diligence that we did is the near-term restart potential of the mine. So focusing on a past producing asset that produced in excess of 3 million ounces of silver equivalent production per year. Looking at a de-risking strategy where we come in and advance the project to restart ready within the 12 to 18 month window. Tremendous amount of exploration upside, both along strike and at depth, and particularly around the skarn style mineralization, which we think is exciting, historically underexplored. And also the multi-commodity exposure. So looking at the asset as a zinc, silver, copper, and lead production, predominantly silver, 40% roughly, NSR, and copper and zinc being around 22-23% respectively as well. So a very exciting project for the company and our plans going forward.
Okay, great. And now let's talk about the transaction structure. What does that look like?
Yeah, so it's a 100% share deal. What we looked at is a partner with Orion Mine Finance, who was the vendor or seller of the asset. Orion had partnered with another group called M Grupo, which is a Querétaro-based infrastructure company. The asset is based in the state of Querétaro in central Mexico, approximately 2 hours north of Mexico City. Very safe place to do business. Having that experience and the know-how on the ground really helps us advance as far as community, I would also say labor relations and things like that. So the structure is set up that initial consideration to both parties of $20 million US in shares of Excellon, and on our ability to achieve commercial production, 2 other payments of $15 million for a total of $50 million in consideration, all shares or potentially shares and cash once we achieve commercial production. So I think the benefits of it provides flexibility to Excellon shareholders as well as the parties that we partner with. It's tranche payments that allow us to sufficiently de-risk the project as we go from development into production. And what I'd say is long-term strategic and operating partners to really see this as a successful restart.
Okay, and you talked about 12 to 18 months for the development timeline. Maybe just talk a little bit about your kind of immediate next steps and potentially any challenges you foresee there.
Yeah, that's great. So focus now is we're out to raise $10 million in the market. That 10 million would be the de-risking plan for the next 12 to 18 months. And the focus there are really, say, 3, maybe 4 things. Number one, the detailed engineering on the restart plan. The infrastructure that's there includes existing mine infrastructure in a mine plan, existing mill infrastructure as well. Focus will be on building a tailings management facility, a filter press to allow us to optimize tailings deposition from what the previous operating philosophy was. We'll also look at doing some mine planning based on infill drilling. So complete an infill drill program, particularly for the first 30 years of production, de-risk that ore body, allow us to be successful with our planning. And also looking at exploration potential, both near at depth and along strike to existing mineralization in existing mineralized zones. So I think it'd be an exciting 12 months. And I think the outcome is the capital is going into the ground, it's going in to develop the asset to allow us to hand to heart say we've got a successful restart project here.
Okay, fantastic. And then I guess pulling back a little bit from La Negra, and for some of our viewers who might not be so familiar with Excellon, maybe you could talk a little bit about your other assets. Give us a bit of a snapshot, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have an exciting portfolio that really spans the Americas and also to Europe. So we talked about La Negra. Our experience as an operating company was in Mexico. We had the Baltosa mine that's largely wound down now. We're focusing largely on reclamation and pivoting towards exploration at that project. Silver City is in Saxony, Germany. is a high-grade epithermal vein silver deposit. We've drilled out over the last 2 years about 20,000 meters of drilling, intersecting up to 1,000 grams per ton silver equivalent exploration there. Exciting thing with that is you're in a prolific, historically mining region, so 800 plus years of mining in the area, and a lot of strong support for seeing mining return to Eastern Germany. And then there's a Kilgore project in North America, in Idaho. Kilgore was acquired from Otis Gold by Excellon 2020. Since then, we've completed an initial drill program, exploration program, focusing on some of the high-grade structure at Kilgore, as well as looking at stepping out and expanding existing pit mineralization. Those assays, we started that in the summer. Some of those assays are pending and look forward to exciting news flow to come.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit about news flow throughout the rest of those assets. What else are we going to see going into, as we progress through 2023?
Yeah, so we're a very busy year for Excellon. Number one, we look at a potential spin out of the Silver City project. We talked about that in the media and into last year. The spin out, the rationale for it is that we've got an exciting silver exploration project, trying to find the most efficient way to allocate capital into that project. So we're not looking to sell the project. We're looking to raise money and dividend those shares in a public vehicle to existing Excellon shareholders. And at Kilgore, we're looking at, we're starting to assess what will be the 2023 drill program for the summer, in the context of also waiting for further assays to come from the drilling that we completed at Kilgore this past year. We did around 2,100 meters of drilling. We targeted a 5,000 meter drill program. So getting some of this information back and putting it into our into our resource modeling will be critical to better assessing where that next stage of development and exploration goes.
Okay, fantastic, Shawn. Well, thanks so much for that. That's all we have time for today, but it just remains for me to thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Tom, for having me here. It's a pleasure.
No problem. Well, I'm sure we'll speak again before too long, but for now, that concludes this video for Mining Journal. Goodbye.